Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Beer There Drunk That, the only podcast with two guys who fight over who's more Irish.
That
The
one you probably could
troubles.
fact check and I think be right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The modern troubles. Hang on, fellas. Sorry, my microphone started dipping towards my head.
All right. We
Nice.
literally no. You had time to fix this. You had time to fix this.
It
Yeah.
wasn't an issue.
Keegan
a
was
minute
late
ago.
for a reason.
I was. This is why I came late, was so you had time.
Oh my god. This is not going well.
Well, in the meantime, I just want to say happy opening day week to everyone. I know this episode's coming out a couple
Yes,
days
sir.
late, but tomorrow,
sir.
when we're recording this, is opening day for the Major League Baseball season. I'm very excited. And then when this episode comes out, the day after, I will be at Brewers home opener, which will be awesome. Taking the day off work. I'm really excited. And I will drink
That's what
beer.
America's about.
I will perhaps be testing a new beer that day because the Leinenkugel's Barrel Yard, which is in the stadium there, just announced that they have a Mexican lager with lime that they're making.
Whoa.
One of my favorite type beers. So why not?
I say smoke it and see what happens.
What
Yeah.
are they? Wait, what are they called? They sometimes don't they call that a cerveza or what do they call it?
Cerveza is Spanish for beer, Luke.
That's just Spanish for beer. Good job.
Me
Luke,
llamo
actually, for those
Luke.
of you who didn't know, Luke did take Spanish. He took Spanish in high school. So
Yeah, but my
shout
Spanish
out RH
teacher
Spanish.
Didn't
later
say he
on
passed.
wasn't the biggest fan of mine, so so let's just
I
say
mean, who is?
let's just say I wasn't doing particularly well with Spanish.
Well,
right.
well.
And today, I'm just
What
getting
are we
all my
drinking,
stuff out of the way.
gents?
I'm drinking a Leinenkugel's
I like it.
Toasted Bock. Because,
Oh, yeah.
a Bock, a nice springy beer, and then I'm going to drink out of my Hofbrau München glass. I know this is for Hefeweizens, but it's the closest thing I have shaped like a bat that isn't 33 ounces. So it's a little baseball.
Sounds like you need to get more beer. Is what you need to get.
I have 24 ounces of this
It's not a
beer in my
smaller
possession.
glass. You don't need a smaller glass. You need more beer.
That's true.
Exactly.
I could do it with Coors Banquet.
solutions
I
for
have a lot of
modern
Coors
problem.
Banquets right now.
Why?
There you go.
They were free.
Oh, free beer.
I'll go next. I'm drinking. I found this at this is at Vinyl Beer Company, not the club because the club is whack. This is called Jam Packed Blueberry Pie. It's brewed in Portland, Maine, and I can't wait to try it. I'm gonna shout out Draft Top because I just got mine in, and this is my first chance to use it on a full can. I can't wait to spell it all over my desk.
I'm
I
waiting
was gonna
for
say
it.
it's gonna be really embarrassing if it doesn't work at all, and then you're like, "Yeah, thanks a lot, company I just praised a minute ago."
Yeah. I should have practiced. Luke, what do you got in your hand?
Well, fellas, I like Donny am bringing in the springtime with a Jenny Kolsch.
Love it.
I am
go wrong.
thrilled, beyond thrilled to see. I mean, they actually, it was kind of funny because they took a picture for their social media and they had a ruby red Kolsch in the snow, and they're like, the groundhog lied.
The beer doesn't lie though.
Beer don't lie.
Yep.
If there's Kolsch in the cooler, it's springtime.
Yep.
Well, let's crack these.
All right.
I'm thirsty.
Let's give it a shot. Yeah. Sláinte.
Sláinte.
Prost.
I poured this badly.
It kind of worked. It kind of didn't.
Oh yeah, don't cut your lip open, Keegan. This is going to be the first episode of the podcast where we have to call an ambulance.
I did spill a little bit. Can confirm.
With a medical emergency.
Yeah, it won't be the last.
No, but it did the job though. Honestly, like Donnie, I'm gonna kind of have to do what you did, just push it in and then pull it out.
Yeah.
Nice. But overall, it did do the job.
Oh my god, that Kolsch smells so good.
We should make
Didn't ask you,
Jenny
Luke.
Kolsch scented candles.
Oh, I am 100% behind that.
They had when
Wait,
I was
can I
at
tell you guys?
Yes,
Go
you
ahead.
can tell us, Keegan. I was gonna say they had beer like soap and candles at the Miller Brewery when I was there the other day. They had like Miller High Life soap that smells like champagne, or like I think Miller Lite that just smelled clean.
Smell clean. No, one of my favorite. What that made me think of. One of my favorite memes is it's a girl smelling a candle, and she goes, "Wow, this candle smells like Fireball." And she goes, "Yeah, Ashley, that's non-alcoholics call that cinnamon." And I feel like that's gonna be it. Because we're just gonna make a grapefruit scented candle, and then anybody that smells will be like, "Wow, grapefruit," and be like, "No, no, get
Well,
out."
it's
Jenny
like
Kolsch.
it's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they go, there's all those cola mixers and orange juice mixers
Yeah, exactly.
there
You
at
ever
the
drink a
bar.
mixer straight up?
Well, I used to work at a Chinese restaurant in high school. And my friend's dad, who ran the front of the house, um, he would make what he called happy drink or happy juice for like all the underage people. And it was just like he mixed like all the fruit juices in the bar and like made like this really nice, pretty drink, like layered drink in like a tiki glass. And then for the adults, he would just put rum in it and call it happy drink.
He knew
He
what
was
he
a
was
legend.
doing.
Shout out Ho.
You said how or ho?
Ho. Ho.
Ho. Shout out ho.
All right, who wants to go first? I'm trying to clean off this beer tap from the beer I spilled.
I'll go first.
Do it.
With the beer you stole from me?
Thanks, Donny. So I had and actually it's funny because Keegan had asked me if I bought this one, and so I knew immediately that he
Because
had
it's
bought it
because
100%.
it is in my fridge currently.
It is Brewery Omegang. It's their Rare Voss Amber Ale. Again, and I've had I had their Three Philosophers Quad when we did the Belgian Ale episode. I've also had their Wit Ale. And it is falling towards me again, the microphone. I'm gonna hold it here for a moment. Little did I know the shitty quality of my last microphone served me better than the one that's trying to murder me right now. But anyhow, yeah, Cooperstown,
I was gonna choke you out.
Cooperstown, New York-based brewery. I have not been there yet. Still really want to go. Very carbonated because it exploded in my Murphy's Imperial pint glass. It had a huge head on it. And then one thing I'll say too
Hey, that's
about
in
this
common with
brewery.
the beer.
Yeah. Again, the bulbous head of the Rydelic family.
Strikes again.
Meets beer. um, but one thing that I enjoy about this brewery, and it's definitely subjective, is there's a similar taste and kind of a sort of spice, but definitely recognizable taste that a couple of Belgian style breweries have, like Omegang and then Ardennes and that in Geneva, that I love. And I think that this is an easy way for people to kind of um, jump beer styles if they're trying to branch out a little bit, because it has that similar taste. So you can bridge the gap pretty easily. Heftier beer than I remembered, and I have had this before. The orangey, citrusy taste is kind of what I'm getting at with that similar taste between their beer. And I've become accustomed to it. I love it. I got notes of orange pith through the aftertaste, which is kind of funny because it seems like it wouldn't be pleasant, but it was very pleasant. Very drinkable, 6.5%er, 3.75 on Untapped. Drier than most fruit flavor, but I liked it a lot. Again.
So how many times did you have to say orange pith in your head before you stopped saying orange piss? That's the real question.
Literally 2. But it had to happen.
2 every day leading up to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Since he saw the beer online, he's been saying orange pith,
I
orange
practiced
piss,
all
orange piss.
week.
I love it.
And so
Fellas,
what,
I do like Omegang. It really is an awesome brewery. So we're gonna have to take a trip there. Cooperstown in general, I think, is a great. I think it's an underrated beer town, but like with the Cooperstown distillery there too, it's underrated in that sense as well. So,
I'd be down if
I
I
mean,
flew out and we did a trip, like, if I flew into
baseball
Rochester.
Hall of Fame and
Exactly,
drinking.
like if we did like a long weekend, like Labor Day or something like that. Like, I fly in, to Rochester, and Luke and I drive down.
Let's do it.
100%. Oh my
I'm
God, that
so
would be
in.
awesome.
Yeah, I think that would be the best. I would love to. I'd love to do that because I want to go to the Hall of Fame, and I just like I can't get the Gang beers out here, and you guys talk so highly of them.
They're very good beers.
And
Would
I
recommend.
yeah, the last episode when Luke was talking about their Belgian, just their brewery looks impressive. I know you mentioned it, Keegan, how it's like
Mhm.
it's like a castle and looks like old timey and stuff. Like it looks just like one of those places you want to go visit,
Absolutely,
Because
absolutely. Yeah, it's like
and yes, they're a little bit bigger of a brewery, but like I don't know how much you guys experience this. Like I'm trying to think of the Rochester breweries, but like out here in Wisconsin, it'll just be like in the middle of a business park, and like there'll just be like a side door next to like a garage door. It just says like open, and you go in, and that's a brewery in like an all concrete building, and they have cool decorations. But like like it never
actually.
makes you like want to go there, but you're like, wow, these beers are really good.
So no, I actually experienced that this weekend. So I've never really and this is through every fault of my own. I really haven't explored like the brewery scene in New York, like in the city. And so there's a couple on Manhattan, and then we end up going. I had Emily, shout out my Chicago fans, Allie in New York, and Vanessa also in New York. Just so we know that it's not just Wisconsin, Milwaukee. But they came down and we actually went to a couple different breweries and then a distillery. So in Brooklyn, we went to this place. It was called Kings County Distillery. Dude, when I tell you this was the sketchiest thing I've ever seen, like our Uber driver dropped us off on the corner across from what looked like a drawbridge. And I was like, where the hell are we? What is happening right now? And then literally like from where we got dropped off, you went across the corner and it looked like an old outpost, like a literally like a century building. Like the bathroom, you had to go downstairs. You were going straight down. Um
They
and
didn't
it
have a
was it was
fire
very
pole to go
cool.
down.
They didn't have a fireplace, I was a little disappointed. But the cocktails were good. It was like mostly whiskey and stuff. But that was good. And then we ended up going to Keg and Lantern, in that's Brooklyn, like Williamsburg. And that one was kind of like that, Donnie, where like initially you kind of walk by it and you're like, oh wait, that's the brewery. It's right there.
Yeah, there's
So
one like that place Big Head. Um I did their stout. That's like right next to Sophie's dad's office. And it's just like there's a sign that says Big Head, and you like just like drive around the side, and there's like a garage door and then like a side door that just says open, and there's like picnic tables inside, and they all have mismatched chairs at them. And they've got like a projector playing like the Bucks game or whatever. Like it was a great place. Like I think the vibes are cool in there, but it's definitely a little off-putting if you're not used to it.
yeah,
Mi-
those I
I
feel like the best beer comes out of those places though.
well, I
I
have to
agree.
imagine that medieval divey is a whole nother world. Like
Rats.
to get down, like you said, you have to have like a guy with a hunchback, like winding one of those things that lowers you slowly.
And
Yeah,
you go,
yeah.
and then you get to the bottom, and there's just a guy on a creek with a small boat, and he pushes you across. It's like 4 pushes, and you're like, "How did you put a river under here?"
Art thou driving, or
and so,
have thou taken Uber?
and somehow the bathroom still has a bidet.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
You're never too medieval for comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Um, Donnie, would you like to go next?
I would because I kind of have a jumping off point from Luke's.
I like it.
So I had the Amber Ale from Delta Beer Lab, and I'm gonna
Ooh, I
do a
like
little
that.
demo for you guys. So like all of their beers look kind of like similar vibe on the cans. So they're meant to look like elemental, like periodic table of elements. So like here's like their main lineup of beers. They're just all like a little different
Ooh,
color,
I
and like
like that.
where the like periodic number, like atomic weight is, like you have like the alcohol percentage and things like that. This beer was like it was the floral side of ambers, kind of like what Luke was saying, where it's got like a little bit of citrus, a little fruity. Like it, it's one of those tastes where I can't pin exactly what the flavor is, but you're like, yeah, this is fruit, this is flowers.
It's familiar, yeah.
Yeah, it had a very light haze to it, like the kind where like you couldn't see through the beer, but it wasn't like dark or cloudy. Um, like here are my notes. I wrote raisins, something not very strong. Like I couldn't like I couldn't tell exactly what it is, but
Raisins?
yeah, but it had that nice like floral fruitiness that you get out of the heavier, like the slightly heavier malts that you get here without like burning them to a crisp, and it was all sweet notes. Um, I gave this a 4 out of 5. I would drink this again. It's like it was just crushable enough, like where you could have a couple of these, but not enough that you're like absolutely like it's not heavy enough where you're just bloated after one.
Good. Okay.
But I was very happy
All
with
right.
it.
Would you rate it on Untapped?
4 out of 5.
Oh, okay,
Luke,
solid.
Luke has to work on his listening skills.
Yeah,
Oh, did you already say that?
I did.
He did say that, Luke.
Bulbous head
Oh,
doesn't
boy.
mean bulbous ears.
Although I'm not doing too great on the ear front either. So.
No, I will
Oh,
say another
all
cool
right.
thing about the
Okay.
can. It says on it, enjoy responsible or craft beer without barriers. Enjoy responsibly, speak honestly, live respectfully. And then change at delta.beer, Like
Cool.
it was really
I like
cool.
that. Yeah.
It's got like all the different, all the different symbols, celebrating different types of people, things like that. And I just think it's cool that it's like science and nerdy, but they're also like, be yourself, be cool.
Yeah. It's
Beer
like the
with a
perfect
message.
Yeah. It says a different kind of brewery dedicated to change. Delta is the symbol of change in mathematics and chemistry. It serves us as a constant reminder of our commitment to excellence in social change, environmental advocacy, and just being damn good people. Oh, and we're pretty intentional about how we craft beer too. So no, I like them. I haven't been to them yet. They're out in Madison.
Luke, I hate that you just laugh like that. It kind of threw me off a little bit.
Yeah, I wanted to. I did laugh, but I figured I'd put a little something behind it because it was. They
I was
clearly
being
got
silly.
a kick out of it.
I was being silly, not gonna lie.
So actually, I'll start with my kind of fruity amber because I had one of those as well.
And you're kind of fruity.
Very fruity. You done? Are you done? Like, can I
Yep.
go, or are we gonna
Yep,
are we gonna just keep doing this?
Yep, I'm done. Go ahead.
I'm gonna spank you. You're misbehaving. All right. So, anywho, I have this is Switchback Brewing Company from Burlington, Vermont. It's their Switchback Ale. And it says it's a
Classic.
well-balanced reddish amber ale. I had never heard of Switchback. I actually went on a trek for this beer. So Vinyl Beer Company had a little bit of a limited amber selection. So I got my other one from there. But this one I went down to City Swiggers. It's on 86th and in between first and second. Another recommendation of my friend Charlie from Vinyl Beer Co., but also works at City Swiggers. But this was for me. It was just kind of like a stock beer, meaning there wasn't anything that like really made it stand out, but it wasn't a bad beer. Um, it's light bodied. It's definitely crisp. So like having it for like a spring beer or a fall beer, kind of that intermediate, like late summer beer, I think would be great. It is light enough that you can drink it when it's a little bit warmer outside. Like it's not super heavy. Um, the notes that I had. So when I poured it, you'll see it on my first sips. It's a little more hazy than I expected. So I was expecting, because I got it with the other one, like this really nice amber, like Donny, like amber fossil. Like that's the color I was expecting. And this one, it had a little tint of that, but it was more hazy. And then when I was tasting it, like it had a little bit of kind of that. I agree. Like I like your description, kind of an unknown fruitiness. Um, but then it finished with, and this also kind of caught me off guard, a little bit of bitterness, kind of in like the top of the mouth and the aftertaste. which wasn't like it wasn't off-putting. I'll put it that way. So like it wasn't something that was that steered me away from it. I gave this beer a 3.25 on Untapped. Again, like it's just kind of like if I'm going for a beer, this would be a beer I'd just be like, all right, yeah, give me one.
Yeah, I've seen
So
Switchback a lot.
it's like a very safe beer is what I'd call it. It's not something that's gonna, I think, shock you either way. I think it's very safe.
It
But
reminds
yeah,
me of so like I've seen Switchback a lot just being from New England. It reminds me of a beer we have out here in Milwaukee called River West Stein from Lakefront Brewery. And that is like one of those like craft beers that you can get literally anywhere here.
okay.
It's an amber. I didn't review it for this just because I've had it 4 million times. Not an exaggeration. But it's like it's exactly that. Like I think it's one of the better just like generic craft beers. Like like you go to a bar, it's gonna be like Miller Lite, Spotted Cow, River West Stein. Like those are gonna be 3 taps anywhere here.
That's how Naked Dove Windblown Amber is here, because it's pretty widely distributed locally. But it's definitely a kind of run of the mill, easy pick if you're looking for something to go down easy or something consistent.
I like it when if I'm like at a restaurant or something like that. And like because I think ambers go really well with like meats and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like something, it's a roasty beer, like something that's like has a little bit of char to it or something that you can really taste. I think they go so well together. So like if I'm out at dinner, like a lot of times the River West Stein will do the job pretty well.
I
Yeah,
described the Naked Dove Windblown Amber as kind of a thinking beer, so I'll have that while I'm deciding what I want.
I get that.
I think that's a perfect way to describe it. That's how I would describe this beer. It's that beer to have a beer in your hand while you're looking at some more like
Because you don't want to
thought
be,
provoking beers.
yeah, you want to have something. You don't want to be dry for a while.
I
Yeah.
mean, you can't get dried out. Like that's not
No,
okay.
it's a sin. It's a sin and a medical issue.
No, we should put that on the beer tier list. I think that's like the tier above like middle of the road,
Yes,
like,
it's a
because
thinking beer.
I think it is nice to have like a go-to easy drinking beer like that. Like I know you're more like you guys gravitate a little bit more to IPAs than I do, like, but an IPA is never like the first thing I'm gonna rip at a place.
Mm-hmm.
I usually like to try them and I'm starting to like them more. But I want to go with something like that that's kind of like middle of the road flavor profile, like in theory not gonna knock my socks off.
Yeah, it's that
That's
it's hitting singles, right? You don't need to hit home runs every time.
No. You
You're just
can
hitting
bat
singles.
you can still bat 320 and be valuable.
Absolutely, absolutely.
what is it? Almost opening day? I don't know.
No,
Oh, the
you're
baseball
not allowed to
reference.
know. No, you're not included.
No, see, I didn't use my listening skills, so
Ears are listening, mouth is closed.
But how
I'm
will I
bad at
drink beer?
both.
I'm, I'm bad at both. Just put a beer in your mouth and then you can't talk, so you have to listen.
Very true.
All right, so uh I want to approach you guys with our beer ideas. Did you guys forget
Ooh.
about this?
Oh,
I was wondering when it was
I
going to
gotta
come up.
pull
I
out
got to
my
pull up.
phone.
I got to pull up.
We don't have to do them all right now. But I at least want to talk about my idea. I haven't really put it like pen to paper on it yet. I've been kind of formulating it in my head, and I think I have what I want.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm thinking a mango pineapple pilsner. I think a
Wow.
nice summer
Ooh.
beer. I think mango's an underutilized flavor in the beer world.
Yeah.
It came in part from I love a pilsner. I think that's just a great crushable beer. And I think the gentle hoppiness that you get from a lot of things like an Italian pilsner would play really, really well with the pineapple, which kind of like, you have that woody hoppiness with the brightness of the pineapple, and then the mango I think would really round it out.
Ooh.
I like
Partially,
that. That's a really good idea.
yeah, partially inspired by the other night I had the mango wheat from Blue Moon
hmm
as part of my
hmm
big free beer box. Um, And it's just like I think that's a good beer, and it's like the mango's not overpowering by any means, but I think I think it's a flavor, and I think the pineapple will help like just bring a nice tropical note to it, like something that you can drink on a hot summer day. You know, like this time of year, my mind goes to a shandy or something that I'd like to drink at a baseball game, and I
That's
think that's what I would
absolutely
love to
fair.
drink
That's a
while
really
watching Reese Hoskin hit dingers at American Family Field, formerly known as Miller Park.
Wait, they still have
Uh,
the slide though, right? The slide didn't leave.
oh, a slide's still there.
Okay, good. I feel like I'm kind of wishing that I went first because now I feel like mine's going to be kind of lackluster. I actually have a couple. Can I share two? Is
Yeah.
that allowed?
Man.
Okay. I'll start with the first one. This one's a little more like comical, like, but it's so I get just a peanut butter and banana porter. All right. So you get like the richness of the peanut butter along with that like kind of chocolatey coffee of the porter, a little bit lighter than you would be a stout, like probably like a mid fall beer. I think it's a great football beer, and I came up with a name too because once you drink it, you're gonna say, thank you very much," and it's called the King.
Cool.
Okay.
I love it.
Okay, so peanut butter and banana sandwiches, right? Peanut butter banana porter. That's where my mind went.
No
Can,
bacon?
I mean, honestly, Donny,
Because it could add
Donny,
saltiness to it. You add a little salt in that beer?
Donny. I'm stealing it. I'm stealing it. That's gonna be one. That's gonna be a submission.
I had bacon in a drink once. It was a cocktail at Iron Smoke over in Fairport,
Yeah.
and they had a rounded piece of bacon that they put in, and the drink was awesome because it used that maple bacon flavored whiskey. That's my favorite
Mm-hmm.
flavored whiskey. But afterwards, having cold, soggy, like soaked bacon was one of the more interesting experiences of my
It
life.
sounds like it'd be a texture nuance, we'll say.
It's a texture thing.
All right, and then my other one. Now I had like four on my list. These are my top two. This one, my mom listens to the podcast. If you know my mom, you know she makes good chocolate chip cookies. So I'm going right to JoJo's chocolate chip cookie porter. And I'm just
Yeah.
dropping the mic. I'm dropping the mic. You
Enough
can
said.
Best
I think
cookies.
if it were something you poured on tap, you garnish it with like a little bit of cookie dough or something like on the brim. But um
Love it.
yeah, I'm here for it.
All
Love
right,
it.
Luke.
Love it.
All right, Luke, bring us home.
I've got two also. Okay. And I'll start with
You can only share one.
I'm prior precedent, not we won't base it off of what happened before. I call this morning sunshine, morning sunshine kind of thing. It's a vanilla glazed honey bun blonde ale.
Wow.
And the
Huh.
reason why I chose that style is because I had a coffee blonde ale at local 315 outside of Syracuse. And it wasn't good, but I thought there needed to
It
be
sucked. It sucked.
there
Beer was
needed to be
ass.
some sort of sweetness, and I just think that capturing a like a honey vanilla kind of flavor in a blonde ale would be so enjoyable.
I
That
love
was
honey
number
and
one.
beers. Honey and beers, I think, is a
That
really,
sounds really
really good
good.
flavor.
You had
So
one as you're kind of starting off beer for one of the episodes of the podcast, didn't you?
my
Oh,
Irish
was it?
one.
I was gonna say it's the Irish beer. I
Oh
think
no,
Yeah.
Mikey.
it was one of your actual tasting beers. That's right.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Yeah,
Well,
I would definitely be interested in trying that.
I love a dessert beer like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
but I
Mhm.
feel like it's light enough because a stout would be kind of easy for me. Like with that flavor, I feel like they could kind of maybe a white stout though.
Oh, like dragon's milk?
There you go. There
Yes.
you go. Oh,
Yeah.
dragon's milk is a good one.
I feel like they can kind of accomplish that in that too. But my second one is I call it Poppy Peanut, and it's inspired by the old South, and it's a peanut and soda pop beer.
Like
Okay,
when you put Coke in peanuts?
Yes, exactly. Or like peanuts and Coke or whatever.
Peanuts
the
and Coke,
order is.
yeah.
I don't know how on earth they would capture that flavor. Like whether it would have to be a sour or something. I don't know, but the idea was something that was bouncing around in my head.
We had a cherry cola beer when we did the cookie tasting thing. Sophie got like another one of their beers there, and it was a cherry cola like slush beer. And I don't know if it
Ooh.
was more or less just like a seltzer or not, but it was like cola flavored. So I feel like soda and beer is plausible, Luke.
Because it has to have something salty, right? And I confess, I even though a lot of my family lives down south, I have not had peanuts in cola. So I haven't tried it, but I imagine it has to be a saltier kind of thing. So it's got to achieve that in some way. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
I like
But that's
I like the
I like
concept.
that. I do too. It's not something I can't obviously like. I can't even picture the flavor, but excuse me. But like the concept of it, I'm liking. I'm liking it a lot. So are we just gonna submit all of them, and then when we win,
Yeah,
we're taking a trip out to Milwaukee for our free beers?
I think so, guys.
I think that's the plan.
Well, those were great
What we gotta do?
ideas. I wish I had come prepared with more ideas. My other idea, I guess, was inspired by both me eating cinnamon toast crunch and eating the stout, and also
Yep.
Keegan's favorite cereal that he informed me of, which is the blueberry cinnamon toast crunch. I feel like putting that in like a porter or a stout would be really really good
That would be so fun.
because
Oh
I
my
love
gosh.
cinnamon in beers, and like I think a lot of times blueberry is just like, oh, you put this with wheat, you have a blueberry wheat beer. And I
Yep.
think it would be a nice different way, like, because I love blueberries in dessert, you know? Like a little
Well,
blueberry pie, something like that. I think it'd be
yeah.
great.
Donnie, I do hate to inform you, Luke actually did kind of make something like that in Saratoga. Um,
Well,
that
fuck
was
them.
that like, oh yeah, no, honestly, no, honestly. But it was that blueberry wheat beer in the
The
I don't even remember what beer
UFO.
it was. Yeah, it was the UFO, but it was in the whatever it was from New York Beer Project.
Oh, it was a porter that didn't have the name written on it
Oh,
that
the
my
one your
dad had.
dad gave you. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one my dad gave me. Yeah.
So there's something in the works.
there
Yes.
definitely is. There's definitely room for it. I like it.
When we open our respective breweries, fellas, we're gonna have to
Respective. Are we
feature
opening
it.
up 3 different breweries?
Well, we open one and one of our locations, and when it is undoubtedly a success,
We open
we
another,
open another and another, and we hit our three, and then we have a fan base that's built.
and then we get
And
sold to InBev, and we get nationally distributed.
You
Bud
just get
Light,
moving
here
on.
we come. No.
Yeah, baby.
I
Well,
can't wait till there's a beer there drunk that flavor of Bud Light.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome.
beer there, Bud Light.
Bingo. Bingo.
Or we're just in the ads talking about how much we love Bud Light.
Just Shane Gillis.
Well, my glass is dry, boys. I say we take a quick break, and when we come back, um, we'll indulge in some more beer tasting.
Let's do it.
New for us, but we'll do it.
Un- Uncharted territories. And we're back with beer there, drunk that. How was the break, my friends?
I got a
Lovely.
sour that I'm not enjoying.
Tell
I
us
got a
why.
PhD.
I ship my drawers. I can't wait to ship my pants, Dad. That was an all-time commercial. That was an all-time commercial.
It is a classic.
I have Kings County Brewers Collective Yeti Confetti. It's a fruited sour. It's very sour. Probably my bad. I'm gonna take this one off the chin because I think I just got over ambitious trying another sour. So it's all good. Happens to the best of
Two,
us. We'll bounce back.
two sours. Two sours?
You've been on the sours recently, Keegan. Any reason why?
I mean, here's the thing, right? I like fruity beer because I'm a fruity guy. So sometimes it just fits. The blueberry pie, I saw it today and I was like, I'm not leaving this store without that beer. So that one was a spur of the moment. This one I kind of got because the can is dope with all the Yeti heads on it.
It looked like that the hop cone almost looks a little marijuana-ish on there, I think, for a reason.
It does. Yeah, so I honestly I picked it up because of the Yetis because it was dope and it's been sitting in my fridge and I said, better never than now. I mean, better now than never.
Use it or lose it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Luke, are you do you know they have a SawCon right after BeerCon in New York City? You guys want to come down for it?
When is it?
So there's BeerCon that's in like I don't know. I'd have to look. It's sometime this summer, I think. But then SawCon is right after.
Let me take a can I ask a question though?
Yeah.
What is soccer?
Suck on these nuts, boys!
No!
Yeah, our
Let's
friend.
go!
Oh
Come on!
no!
Our friend,
Come on!
my friend, Mr. Jablomi is coming with us.
Who's Mr. Jablomi?
His first name's Wood.
Wood
Jablome. I did come up with a name for the mango pineapple beer while we were on break. I called it
What's
Island Time because once you crack it open, you're on Island Time.
Yeah, love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
The great island of Milwaukee, or Wisconsin.
There's 3 rivers here. We have a confluence. They did a thing to name like we're getting like a second tier professional soccer team here, like the USFL.
Okay.
And they did like a name the team thing with like voting. And one of the initial like names that made it through was the Milwaukee Confluence. And I think everyone just Googled what's a confluence. And it just means when multiple rivers meet together.
I like that. It sounds kind of sick though.
I wanted the Milwaukee Tall Boys. I thought that would be the best name.
That would be
That does
so
sound like a solid name.
cool.
That's a solid name. But
And
actually,
fitting.
of the 3 of us, yours truly is the only one that lives on an island. So
That's true.
I'll allow you to use Island Time for the busy island of Manhattan.
Do you know the only university in the United States of America that is on an island?
Hawaii? Oh, it's
Well,
an archipelago.
The University of Maine.
What?
What?
It's on an island in the middle of a big river. You can look it up. The University of Maine is on an island.
In the middle of a confluence?
Yeah, perhaps.
Perhaps, perchance.
But
More research has to be done.
Yeah.
But,
More at 6.
I'm drinking Stroh's, which is one of the first beers that I genuinely like started loving and enjoying and drinking regularly. Except you have to go to Buffalo to get it around here.
So that was your 13-year-old birthday beer.
Yeah, that's right. Well,
12
so
and a
it's
half
funny
birthday.
because I think actually the style of beer that officially got me into beer was an amber ale at a barbecue poutine joint in Perth, Ontario. And the reason why I can pick that out specifically is because my dad, who denies it to this day, forgot my beer or my like Smirnoff Ice and cider stuff that I was drinking before I was drinking beer when we were going to Christie Lake one year. Because you can only bring I think it's like you can only bring a 24 pack of whatever or a bottle of booze. And that was per person of legal drinking age. So at the
In
time
Canada or in the US?
To Canada, bringing it from the US to Canada.
But so like you have to be 21 to get it into Canada, even though legal drinking is 18, or you got to
No,
be 18 to bring it. Okay.
19. So
19,
actually, so
sorry.
your parents can buy you a pack of beer or like assemble a pack of beer for you, and you would count towards that number going into Canada.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. Except that my dad again forgot, which I think I think it was all part of an elaborate ruse, because I think he wanted a drinking buddy, like an additional drinking buddy, and his son liked Fruity Tooty Ooh La La beers, and so he had to turn me
He had
into
to,
a beer drinker, so I was
he had to
forced
course
to
correct.
branch out.
He had to course correct.
However,
I mean,
that exact trip, him, well, he denies it again, but
He denies a lot of
intentionally, I
things.
believe, I believe intentionally leaving that cooler back home when he was supposed to bring it for me, was the exact reason why I'm here with a beer podcast with two of my best buddies today. So thank you, Dad. Will
are
you
the
own up to it now?
are the best buddies in the room with us, or
Yeah, where are they at? I mean, Gandalf's over here. He's sitting behind me.
no? All roads lead to BTDT.
True.
They say I'm drinking Staccato from Indeed. I still love this
Hey.
beer. I did
Classic.
my review on it. It's just good.
Snaps.
It's just good. I love it.
I mean, should we start the second round?
I want to
Yeah.
go last with my review.
Oh,
So you two can fight like usual.
all right, Luke. Rock, paper, scissors. You go. Ready?
I'll go. Bell's.
Rock, paper, scissors. You go.
No, do you really want to do rock? Let's do rock, paper, scissors.
No, I'm not in the mood anymore. Just go.
All right, fine. Bell's Brewing, the American Amber Ale. It was my second tasting beer, from Comstock, Michigan. I will always have a soft spot for Bell's because my dad's, or one of my dad's favorite beers in the entire world is their Two Hearted IPA, which I like a lot.
It's a good beer.
If you know me, you know that I love nature, and so that kind of nature artwork is cool to me. It has a blue heron on there.
You can tell it's a
And
heron because of the way it is.
Do you know what we call those where I'm from?
What?
Call it a shit poke.
Wait,
Luke,
why?
No, yeah,
No,
we're gonna have to pause you,
I
Luke, and
don't-
we're gonna have to hear this, Donnie.
I don't know why, but that's like my grandfather. That's what he called my grandfather. That's what he would call them. That's a shit poke.
A shit poke.
So I hope it comes from a place of hate, because me and Blue Herons have been on the outs for a number of years since they took that sneaky bastard Blue Heron took my goldfish out of my backyard pond, and possibly a turtle, although my neighbor's grandchildren might also be to blame for that. But the jury's out. But yeah, but for sure that asshole definitely took goldfish from me. So
I think
removed it from the pond and then ate my pets.
Shouldn't have been standing there.
Yeah, you should have poked it with a shitter. I guess the name comes from because they like to crap a lot right when they're taking off.
Oh.
Well, yeah, you gotta shed some weight before you go into the sky.
Lighten the load, if you will.
All right, sorry, Luke.
Talk about your beer.
Okay.
Your shit poker beer.
I love that beer very, very much. I've had it before. Lightly toasted malt, crisp, not dry, like not too dry, very moreish. And I actually legitimately regretted not buying an entire pack, and I'm going to revisit it soon. Beers of the World had a lot more than the one I grabbed, but for the sake of the tasting, I just had grabbed the one. Light hops, that toasted sweetness kind of showed in the aftertaste. Very similar to that first amber ale that I referenced earlier that kind of got me into it at that barbecue poutine place. Got me into beer like as a whole. Let's see.
Eyes are reading.
5.8. Yeah, I'm lagging behind tonight. 5.8% ABV, and I gave it a 4 on Untapped. So it's a solid beer. Love it.
I like that. I like that for you. And it brings you back to your roots.
It does.
Love it.
I like Bell's beers traditionally. They have their wheat ale Oberon, really, really good too, if you ever see it.
I don't know that I've had that one actually.
It's really good. It's got like the funny looking sun on it. It's really, really good.
Their robust porter, if you haven't had that, do yourself that favor. If I'm going to make a mix pack like just for fun to host a tasting with friends, I will oftentimes include robust porter. Their robust porter.
I love
Fun
that.
Wait,
stuff.
can we confirm or deny that Comstock is it on the Upper Peninsula or the actual mitten itself?
It's on the mitten, I'm pretty sure.
On
It's in the
mitten?
confluence.
Nice.
The
Nice.
because the Upper Peninsula is
Look-
like attached to Wisconsin.
Yeah, so that's I don't know. That's always weirded me out. Like looking at the state of Michigan, like why is that part of Michigan and not part of Wisconsin? Wisconsin.
Let's look. Yeah, no,
Well,
that's in the mitten. Comstock's like it's like Kalamazoo area, if you will.
Hey,
Oh.
they have Bell's has a Kalamazoo stout.
That would make sense then.
Or Donnie, do you think that you guys will ever take that little bit back that's attached to the top of your state?
Yeah.
I'm currently
When's the
not
push?
allowed to talk about it. There were there've been some allegations, some conspiracy, if you will.
It's gonna be the Civil War of the North. It's just fighting for that peninsula.
I would
All right.
fund one side of that.
You would fund one side?
Yep.
The
And I'm
wanna
not
north
share-
going
or
to
the
tell you
more
which.
north. There's no south. It's just north or more north.
Yes. All right. So I'm gonna go. I have this beer called Clavis. I don't know how you pronounce it. From Duchess Ales. It's a Czech style amber lager. It's 5%. And I just like a simple design on the front. I like the little shield with a skeleton. So this was actually the first beer that I tried. And so this really set the standard for me going into the next beer. So I think if I had tried this beer second, maybe the first one would have gotten a higher rating than I gave it. This one I gave a 4.0 on Untapped. I mean, when you're thinking of an amber, the color amber, like this was that beer. This was that beer was the color. So that right off the bat was a good start for me. The head, like it had a nice like white head on it, a little bit bitter. But overall, like still good. When you're just sitting there smelling it, it kind of has that like toffee that honestly, like I think I'm gonna bring everything back to porters and stouts because that's my comfort zone. It honestly, it had like a little bit of aftertaste of like a coffee, of a little bit of bitterness in general. It was very malty kind of up front, and then that back end really that kind of rounded out the flavor was that like that bitterness, that coffee. Um, what did I have? It was yeah, it was. I mean, it was a light mouth feel. I'd say it's definitely on the Moorish end of ambers. Definitely could have a few, and just really throughout the whole thing, it's nice and crisp. It's refreshing. I'd recommend this beer. I gave it again a 4 out of 5. So I did enjoy this beer.
Solid.
So with that, you said you would recommend this beer. Where it like
Mhm.
when you review things out of 5, and this goes to both of you,
Mhm.
is 2.5 your dead middle of like I could take it or leave it. Anything below 2.5, I dislike. Above 2.5, I like. Is that how you view
Yes,
it?
yeah, definitely.
I'd say that's pretty safe.
Because I think it's
Yeah,
good to like, because like I've seen people like, I follow this guy on Untapped called Beer with Alan, and he just like he's had a lot of beers. He's got an Instagram account. I'll show you guys his account. Check him out. But like someone commented, like he gave it like a 3.25, and some guy like commented like, why would you not like? He's like, I love this beer. Like this beer is like a 3.75 to me, and Alan was like, I like this beer. Like a 3.25 is not a bad rating. I think it just depends on your scale.
no, and I think yeah. So for me, I think about it this way. So if it's above a 2.5, it's an above average beer.
Mm.
So for me, 2.5 is middle of the road. It's like would I drink it again? Maybe. Like would I purchase a 12 pack? Definitely not. Under a 2 point. So basically my scale goes like 1 to 2.5 is like that below average to average because again, anything above water automatically gets a point. So it's at least a 1. Um but then yeah, so like if it's above a 2.5, getting a little bit better. Like once I'm above 3, then I'm like, all right, you know what? Like I would go and buy this beer again. I would have this beer again.
I think
Um,
I don't know
I
about you
agree with
guys.
that.
2.5 to like 3.5 for me is I had it in a can or bottle. I want to try this on draft, or I want to go try it at like or on location. I want to give this another shot. Anything below a 2.5 for me is this can't be right.
This isn't
Someone
how
made a
beer is
mistake.
supposed to take. No, I agree with that. And that's how I view things too. I think you got to have like if it's 50-50, it's like I could take it or leave it. Free beer only if you will, like you'll drink it but you're not going to buy it. You know,
Mhm.
I think the American education system screws us because it's like if you get a 50% on a test, you got over half of it right. Or you get above 50, you got over half of it right, but that's not apparently up to standard.
Hey, that's a glass half full or I should say a can half full mentality.
Hey,
Wow, look at you.
Full circle.
trying to see here, like
What?
if
Yeah, what are we
because
doing
it
here,
kind of
Luke?
looks halfway, but I'm not doing the angles well.
It's also not an even volume throughout. Like so it's like you do where's
Yeah,
the half
you're
really?
sub 50%. This is so folks, Luke is struggling with the concept of a glass and its volume. So this is why he was a soft science major.
This is the American education system.
Nope,
Okay.
nope, nope. This is a soft science education, is what that
This is what happened when you go to a tech school for liberal arts.
is.
Roll tech, baby.
Go Tech. Hey, they're playing. Actually, at this point, they would
Tomorrow
have
night.
played. Yeah, it's tomorrow at 5 o'clock against BU. So
Seven
I
and a half
hope
hour
when
drive for me.
so you're going.
Yeah, after work.
I hope when this
It's
releases,
a
RNG
commute.
is still playing in the postseason.
It's gonna be hard
I'm
with
confident.
BU, but
BU's
they're
nasty.
rolling. They're rolling.
Tech's rolling. Roll Tech time. Go Tigers.
Yeah.
Do we think
Whoa.
JJ is going?
No, he's not going.
No, he's not
Uh,
going.
I'd be surprised if he was. I don't know. We should probably ask him.
I'll ask him.
Hey JJ, are you going or
Let us know if you went.
not?
You you ask like it's Siri, like hey J, like Google.
Hey JJ, what's the weather today?
Hey JJ, when was my town founded? Just like
When are taxes due?
when are
With
taxes due?
With that, I will go into my next beer. I had Gaze from Definitive Brewing Co. It's got a nice loon on it. This
Oh,
beer at
yeah.
Total Wine just it stuck out to me on the shelf, and then I examined, and it turns out it's an amber ale.
Ooh.
It's from Definitive Brewing Company in Portland, Maine. So I gotta support my New England beers when I can. 5.8% amber ale. This beer was awesome. This beer is like a dessert beer that you could drink multiple of. It gives the smell and the initial taste is like that caramel toffiness, just light sweet. You can tell it was roasted and had great malt in it. It had a super light feel in the mouth and on your tongue. Like it was just there was nothing heavy about this. I would say this is on the moreish side of like a beer I would classify as a dessert beer. It was just pure good sweetness. And then after you take a sip, in my opinion, it tasted like I took a handful of honey roasted peanuts and it just had that flavor on my mouth where it was a
Ooh.
little salty, sweet, and nutty. And it was just a perfect, like, I'm going to sit down, relax. Like, I believe the description of this beer said something about sitting around a fire in Maine. And this would be the perfect beer for that. If you're just sitting around having a nice sip with someone, like I picture the three of us just sitting out having a campfire somewhere and just I could sip on this all night and I would just be the happiest man in the world. I gave this beer
Oh,
4.75 out of 5. It was
Holy.
it was
wow.
like I had high hopes for this beer and it knocked it out of the park.
Donnie, can I just say, I love when you love a beer. It just makes my heart happy because
I completely agree.
you just like you exude happiness when you drink a good beer, which is how all people should drink beer.
I like again, I drink water and I drink beer. Those are like the two things I like the two beverages that go in my body most of the time.
Yeah.
You know. and I drink mostly water, so that way I can potentially drink beer later. Can't drink all your calories.
Always got to be prepared.
Yeah.
No,
By
but like
water-
honestly though, like the way you approach each beer, I just love, because like even the beers that you're like, yeah, I was disappointed. Like your mood just changes so drastically. Like when you have like a beer you're disappointed with, you're very like tame. But like this beer, you lit up, and I love that. It just
I've
makes
been
me
waiting
happy.
to talk about this beer. I was flabbergasted. Like this can is going like I've got, my little wall of cans that I keep good stuff in. Like I've got like, the cans of like, the beer my cousin did can art for and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And I just
That's awesome.
yeah, I like this beer. I'm next, like I have a wedding to go to in Portland, Maine later this year, and like I'm probably gonna end up at this brewery to try
Picking
it.
some up. Yep.
Like
I love it.
I read about it, like the can caught me. I didn't even know it was an amber. The can just caught me on the shelf. And I'm like, oh, and then I read the little description there at Total Wine, which I do love. They give you like a little description from the brewery of what it's supposed to taste like.
Oh,
And I'm like,
cool.
that sounds good. Like that sounds like something I want to drink. And then I had this and like I wanted to like call you guys and be like, guys, I'm happy.
It's the one.
Yeah. It's not quite the
Donnie's ready
one.
to propose to that beer.
Like again, I gave it a 4.75. Like I want to save that for like something that truly changes my life.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
like that a lot.
long-term beer that's going to teach you a lot, but when you separate and get together with another beer, you've
You're
got
not
a better
upset.
idea of what you're going to want.
And
you
you're
know?
not upset about it.
And you're not upset. You part on good terms.
Just mutual growth. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Like I've just been thinking about this beer for days. This
Donnie's
was like
just been daydreaming about it.
You should call her.
Donnie, that was I should call her.
Well, that's awesome, dude. No, you sold me on it. And maybe I can find them in Beers of the World? I don't know.
Look
I'm
them
going to
up.
write that one down. What's the name again?
It's called Gaze by Definitive Brewing Company. And
That's
like
spelled Gaze, Luke.
no R.
Those gays.
No, I like I said, I had a couple of it. Like I grabbed a couple various ambers. Like I usually will grab like 3 or 4 at Total Wine and just like see which ones like are really calling me. And this one, like I was like, I'm drinking this beer. I have to. So Keegan, you got a trip coming up, don't you?
I do. I'm very much excited about it, and I'll talk about it. Sorry, I'm just making sure the question of the week is squared away. Yes, yours truly headed to the motherland, Ireland. We're taking off. Actually, when this releases, we will have been in Ireland. It'll be our 3rd day in Ireland. And I can't wait. We are going to record an episode from there. If you didn't know, I can kind of approach our beers for next week now. So if you didn't know, Rochester is in the path of totality for the eclipse that's coming up. So what that means, it's going to be total darkness in Rochester. I mean, probably other parts of New York State too, but like that plane is all the path of totality. And so a couple different breweries around Rochester actually did beers inspired by, it's like the lighter side, the darker side, and totality are the 3 beers that they have. So I'm honestly excited. Like I've heard great things about him from Mixer. We'll give him another shout out. I feel like he's been shouted out a lot of episodes, but Mixer, we'll give you another one. And honestly, I'm excited. So unless anybody is now opposed to it, the plan is going to be to have us all 3 kind of give some thoughts on each beer, each of the 3 beers next week for that eclipse. So I'm looking forward to it. And then yeah, I'll be doing some live tastings. You'll probably have seen some at this point in Ireland. I'm gonna
I'm so jealous.
the one I'm most excited for. I'm gonna have my face on a fucking Guinness.
That's so cool,
And I
dude.
can't
I
wait.
want to do
Yeah.
that. I want to do that so bad.
I can't wait. I think it was like an extra. We bought the tickets, and I think it was like an extra. I think it was like an extra 20 pounds. Not pounds. They don't use pounds. I'm so sorry, Ireland. Jesus.
Stone.
Ask the Queen. Down with a crown.
Crap.
It was like an extra 20 euros. But honestly, like, I'm excited. I can't wait.
I'm
Can't wait.
excited to see your adventures.
It's going on the podcast Instagram for sure. I'll try to keep everybody as updated as possible. So yeah, I can't wait.
The yeah, I guess I'm going to be the only one that sees the sun disappear in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I'm not. It's like a Monday, and I think the closest place to me is like Southern Illinois. And like Indianapolis, I think, is in the path.
Is it?
Yeah, Indianapolis is like
Okay.
the closest like big city to me, I think. But
Well, I remember freshman year, and I was moving
When we
stuff.
were
yeah,
moving
it
in.
was the day.
Yes.
Yeah, it was when we were moving to college.
Our
Yep.
kitchen was being done at my parents' house, and so I had stepped outside. I was like getting ready to go, like continue to move in, and so the light was like a little off. The crickets started a little early suddenly, but in total darkness. I'm so excited to see that. It's on my mom's birthday too. The sun is disappearing on my mom's birthday.
And it's never coming back.
Yeah, but
Happy birthday, Mrs. Rydelic. I can't believe I wish her a happy birthday before you, Luke. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Oh, my mom's not gonna love me anymore.
She still doesn't. She never
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, never started.
I love you, Mom. Happy almost birthday. Happy almost
Happy birthday, Mr.
sun
Rydelic.
disappearing birthday.
Almost sun disappearing birthday. No, Luke, you're gonna have to, if you can, live stream it or do something, because I would love to see. Like, I mean, actually, I mean, maybe for our viewers that aren't in New York, I feel like we have a lot of friends in New York that are gonna see it. But,
Anyone from my
Yeah.
realm of the world probably won't see it.
yeah. So like maybe toss it up on the pod. Give us a little like idea of what the darkness is.
I'm gonna
What's it
pretend
like
to-
when the
to
lights are
myself.
off, Luke?
I'm gonna pretend to be clueless about what's happening, and so I'll be drinking a beer, and the sun
And just
the
start
sun
screaming.
disappears, and I'm like, we have to sacrifice people like the Aztecs.
No, in the river. You go in the river.
Toss him in the
confluence.
Genesee. Toss him in the Genesee.
No, if I didn't have opening day and stuff, and it being so close to that, I would have thought and like planned better to like fly out or drive out to Rochester or something like that and see it.
The towns around us are preparing for an army of
apocalypse.
people that are
An
coming.
apocalypse.
A NASA scientist is coming to Clarkson, the town, Clarkson,
Yeah.
New York, and I guess posting up there for a bit.
Luke coming
So
back boosting up.
yeah, it's an army and a NASA scientist. It's pretty much a Godzilla movie.
Oh,
And
I'm
so
excited.
you'll be able to see Luke just screaming bloody murder because the sun disappeared.
What's your
I love
question,
it.
Keegan? What's your question
So-
for us?
So this one's a little more philosophical, I think, than the last couple.
Jesus.
Which would you rather be trapped in the mall with for 12 hours? Okay, these are your two options. You're either trapped in a mall for 12 hours with 2 silverback gorillas, adult silverback gorillas, or 7 black mambas. Not Kobe Bryant, but the snake. So 2 gorillas
Ooh.
or 7 black mambas. All right.
For reference, you do not want to be around a black mamba at all.
They
in
are
any
the fastest snake in the world.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
kill you.
Yeah, it's
It'll kill you. But to be fair, a gorilla could rip your arms off and beat you with it. For reference.
I think
Kinda
either
cool.
way.
You know what? If they're just throwing BP to each other with my head, I'm in.
You'd make a headline for sure.
My
Young local gets beat to death with own arms by gorilla in Eastview Mall, or like
Watches. My question is, are they just inherently mad at me?
Yes. Yep.
Like they don't want me there.
Every animal, yes, all in both situations, they are hunting you. They are looking
Okay.
for you.
Okay.
They're coming to get you.
Can I'm sorry, go ahead.
I just like because I'm like, all right, if there's 7 snakes, they're not that big. Like I'm in a mall. Like I could find a place to lock myself in and they won't get to me, you know. But if they're
That's
like
fucked up.
if they're seeking me, that's when it's like, okay.
Yeah, they're hunting. They're hunting. Both are. Yeah.
Can I ask you guys' opinions on the whole horse-sized duck and duck-sized horse debacle?
Absolutely. I'd love to.
What
Go
are
the
our
little
thoughts?
ones. Little ones. You just kick them.
Absolutely.
You just kick them.
Punt them bitches.
Yeah.
I do feel though that one good shot with a spear would take out the horse-sized duck.
I
No, but
don't
here's
I
the thing.
can't speak for
Think about
Keegan,
how
but I don't have a spear.
I also don't have a spear. Can confirm.
I don't
Can
own a
confirm.
spear.
I don't have a concealed carry for a spear in New York City license.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Um,
I also don't. So
Great plan, Luke.
there we
no,
go.
'cause- all right. So here's the thing. So my thought, right? So think about how mean geese are. Like ducks. Ducks aren't always mean, but like they can be kind of nasty. So you give me a duck the size of a horse, that's kind of scary. I'd rather take the horse size or the duck sized horses because they're fast, but
You punt them.
I'm booting them. I'm
Yeah.
booting them.
For context, the what Keegan is referencing with how we know how he is with geese, his stepfather is a goose. Sorry, go on, Keegan.
Thank you.
It's weird because his
yeah.
parents are married, but he still has a stepfather.
Yeah, it was just a goose that kind of like basically just bit me in the ass and was like, "I'm your dad now," and so it was a whole mess. Honestly, it was a mess. But yeah, I fear geese very much so.
Well, with
You
that,
know what are really nasty though are swans.
oh,
Swans are mean.
swans are just pretty geese.
It's crazy.
But they mate for life. It's romantic.
Shut up,
Poetic,
Lucas.
even.
It's poetic. It's geese.
And we'll leave you with
dressed up.
that image in your life. Thank you for watching Beer There, Drunk That. And I'm excited to see what Keegan's locale is next time we talk to him.
If he isn't speaking Irish Gaelic, don't bother showing up, Keegan.
I'm gonna send you a picture of me kissing the Blarney Stone.
Oh
Especially,
God.
And getting HIV.
yeah, especially because the teenagers that are local there go and piss on that stone.
Yeah.
So
Is that real?
Yes.
probably
They gotta disinfect it somehow.
it's necessary. Is it necessary? No, but it's sterile and I like the taste. Thanks, Patches. Thanks, Patches. Sláinte, everybody.
Sláinte.
Cheers.